I think we've talked about this before, but I'd like to hit on these two things. There's two lessons that you've told me and has been mentioned publicly at the summit as well in 2022 when these was a little bit more fresh. You learned two lessons from this experience, and I would like for everyone to hear those lessons if you don't mind sharing. And I know what they are, so I'll check you on this if you're not honest on these, but I'd be curious to know if you'd be willing to share.
Going back to the first deal that we closed with Park Row, I remember I was actually at your house in Phoenix. So I was out of the office, but nonetheless, I was in the backyard. We finally closed. I was excited. And I remember, I think I might have texted you or something, or you texted me and you said, "Are we closed?" And I said, "Yep, we're closed." And then I think we got in the car and we went to lunch. And then and then I got back to the backyard. I'm doing some emails and you call me and you say, when you close a deal with a partner, you call them and you say, "Hey, congrats, we're closed. Great working with you." And that was, sounds like a simple thing, but it was such a valuable lesson. Number one, because you were willing to give it, because you could have just gotten ticked off and gone, "You know what, Rob didn't even call me after this closing. Well, he's ungrateful." And you could have moved on, but you decided to actually vocalize it to me, which is the best gift you could have given. And luckily for me, I was smart enough to internalize it and definitely learn from that. So that's the thing that comes to mind
That's
for
lesson
me.
number one. Lesson number two was kind of what Alan went through right there was you won't take no for an answer moving forward. So can you explain to everyone how this experience with an incredible partner shifted your mindset and also your paradigm pertaining to transactions moving forward?
Yeah, it's just a recap of what we've been talking about. When you hit a bump in the road or you hear a no, it just doesn't necessarily mean no, actually. You need to find the decision maker, you need to plead your case, and you need to be prepared to negotiate. I think that's the thing is there, especially banks, they can be quite rigid. They've got their parameters, and if you don't fit in the box, then it doesn't work. But at the end of the day, business and real estate and lenders are all just collections of people, and if you can appeal to the people, then you can make things happen.
What's interesting, a lot of people say that the lawyers kill deals, right? Because they are trying to remove all risk. I have been blessed. As I mentioned earlier, there's an attorney out of Atlanta, Andy Pruzak, who basically is a businessman and a lawyer at the same time, as you've dealt with him. And he's just creative. And, whatever there's a bump, how do you figure it out? How do you make it work? And whatever deal I do, they all love him because it's a deal that he figures out a way, and we work together and figure out a way. There's just another way, okay? If it's not this way, it's that way, and so forth. And therefore, it's a tremendous amount of comfort that I'm not going to get one of these Friday afternoon calls saying, checkmate, can't do it, right? And it's very important in anything, especially when you have 1031 money. Generally, any time, because even if a deal goes bust and doesn't close on anything, there's money to be lost, there's bad feelings with investors and so forth, but you don't want that to happen.